boy, do I got something funny today. You remember Alberto? Yeah, that thing is still alive. Pretty funny. As of right now, it's been about 2 days and I'll say 4 to 8 hours since Alberto's landfall as a subtropical storm on the Florida Panhandle near Panama City Beach. And normally once the Weather Prediction Center takes over, you expect the storm to kind of weaken, but Alberto's looking stronger than ever. Although the winds are now at 30 miles per hour and it's all the way in Indiana. Yes, Indiana. In the last video I said it was going to go up to Kentucky and still bring a ton of rain, but I did not expect in the world for this to be this well structured all the way up to Indiana next to Indianapolis. The WPS stopped using the subtropical term for Alberto, now calling it an official tropical depression, even though it has a slightly colder center, but it's looking like a tropical storm, almost as a hurricane all the way up in Indiana, which is absurd. This is not the first time it's happened, but it's practically the first time I've ever seen something like this. It's just like, it's crazy. I saw it this morning and I was like, it's looking like almost like a category 1 hurricane. I was laughing. Alberto is a tropical depression at 30 miles per hour, but with the pressure set at 997 millibars, which means it's still looking like a pretty pressured storm. Usually the normal tropical or even subtropical storm would be at 1,010 millibars by now, because that's the normal low pressure, but this one's all the way down at 997. If you look at Alberto on the radar, it has a nice defined eyeball and nice spiraling around thunderstorms around it. It looks like a good tropical storm with some healthy convection to get it to a category 1 status. I know this is just a 30 mile per hour storm right now, but if it was over the Atlantic Ocean or just the Gulf or Caribbean Sea, this would be around 50 to 60 miles per hour. It's just the land that's stopping the wind. I can tell you this for a fact, and it's kind of depressing if Alberto was a real life thing, that this looks better over land than it did at any point over the water. When Alberto was in the Western Caribbean Sea, it was battling wind shear, tons of wind shear. Then it went into the Gulf of Mexico and then it started battling dry air. But when it got over land, both the dry air and the wind shear was not a problem at all, allowing it to stay together for this long. As a little kid, I've always had this thought process. What happens if a hurricane made it all the way to the Great Lakes and strengthened there so it could be like a hurricane at the Great Lakes? Because the Great Lakes is, it's not that deep, but it's got a lot of water vertically. Not a lot of water vertically, but I mean horizontally. It's got a lot of water displaced over the Michigan borders. But sadly, my childhood reality isn't going to come true this year. Maybe in the future, maybe this could be a real thing and a storm makes it all the way to the Great Lakes like Alberto's going to do, and then strengthen at the Great Lakes. But the Great Lakes water temperature is 75 at the maximum. Again, it's as cold as around 55 degrees Fahrenheit, so the water temperatures aren't really that supported for tropical life. But practically, I didn't say it in the last video, but as soon as Alberto made landfall, it looked better already. And that's the case with some of these tropical systems. They can't get their organization together, but once they make it to land, they get a little organization, but then weaken. But Alberto took that little organization and took it all the way to Indiana. But sadly, this fun Alberto is going to come to an end over the next 2 days. Alberto is just going to cause a lot of rain for Indiana, the Ohio Valley in particular, Michigan, Wisconsin, a nice few rain for them, and even all the way up to Canada. But Alberto is going to be making its way northeast, so it's not going to cross Lake Michigan that much, but it's going to get really close to it. But after that, to become extratropical along with other low pressure systems and cold fronts next to it. To me, I just find this actually hilarious that it's looking like a tropical storm all the way up to Indiana. I've never seen this before, and hopefully I get to see it again. I wish I had a car so I could travel to these events, but that's for a future time. Thank you to all my subscribers, and I'll see you in the next one.